see me? I can see you. Do I see you? Can you see me? I see you. I see you. Hey, everybody. Good morning. I made it. That's all I can say. I made it. After all that driving, I made it. So we're here. We're live, and we are happy to be alive. Let's just, for just a few minutes, can for just those of you who are just joining, I know this is unusual, and I know you don't usually do this, but can we just stop and give ourselves and just thank God that we made it? We woke up this morning. Overnight, there were no mass shootings in America. That alone deserves a shout out. We did not wake up this morning and learned that more people died from Saturday and Sunday morning's happenings, right? Spate of mass shootings. We woke up this morning. There are people who still got killed in Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore, and Compton and other places in the country, but there were no more mass shootings where one person decided he was going to randomly get up and shoot people. So thank God for that. We didn't wake up this morning numbed. We're still numb. We're still in grief. We still don't understand why. We will never understand why. There are no answers to that question. When my children were small, and they would say, well, why does this happen and why does that happen? I used to say, why has a long tail and it ends in a V? Do you remember that? Right? And so there are no answers to the question why. All that we can do as a nation is move forward and try to live our lives to the best that we know how. None of us know the day nor the hour when it will be our time. But right now, right here, while we are here, let us live. Let us live gloriously. Let us live joyfully. Let us live for someone else. Let us put ourselves aside for just a second and live for someone else. The call of duty is upon all of us. We're all called to this crisis. We're all called to this national situation. We're all called to be people and to be humble people and to be helping people. People who are loving, people who are kind, people who see the good in others even when they don't see the good in themselves. People who see the bad, and sometimes we tend to focus more on the good than the bad. Because if we look at the bad, we'll get too despaired. So as a nation, let us move forward without despair, without fear. It is important that everyone, everywhere, live without fear. We should not fear having to go to the malls, having to go anywhere. Let us live. For once, we could wake up, no mass shootings. Thank God for that, right? Just give thanks for you are here right now. Touch yourself. You're here. You're in one piece. We've all seen accidents. We've all seen near misses on the freeways as we do our daily runs and our commutes and run our errands. Every time you go back home in one piece, say, thank God, you made it. You made it. We made it. Right? So I just wanted to be a little prayerful and a little thankful. And I forgot to bring the flyer in. I don't have it with me. But yesterday I was part of a Crime Stoppers press conference for a young lady in Trenton, Michigan. That's south of here. That's significantly south. It's closer to the Ohio border. And this young lady is 16 years old. Her name is Amaria Hall. I'm probably going to take a photo and post it of the flyer. Amaria has been missing since July 5th. She was kidnapped from her home and she's missing. So if anyone has any information, just call 1-800-SPEAK-UP and provide them with any kind of information. So many young people are missing that sometimes in the noise, we forget what it is like to be humbled, right? All right, so today is Wednesday, and I don't know about you, but I woke up this morning. I was so grateful to be alive. I didn't have sickness in my body. I could wake up and just be a person, right? We'll talk about that sometime, what that means. And I could wake up and just celebrate the fact that I can move around. I could get up without assistance. I could go to the bathroom without someone helping me. My body still has the need to go to the bathroom, even though we all complain, don't we? We don't like that. No, we don't really like getting up to go to the bathroom. But thank God that we can do so without our bodies being pumped, filled of fluids and substances, right? And I just wanted to say thank you that I was with Amaria's mother yesterday, who is also gravely ill herself. And hey, how are you? And to see her in a place where she's able to provide information about her daughter who is missing was certainly very inspiring to me for someone who has been diagnosed, she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Non-smokers, have you ever heard of this? Non-smokers lung cancer. How? How can you be? They've told us for years that smoking causes lung cancer. This person had non-smokers lung cancer. That's what she was diagnosed with. And so she's, as a course is, she's taking treatments for it, but she's still able to come to a press conference created by Crime Stoppers to ask the public's help in helping her find her daughter, Amaria, who is missing, right? Right. So I will post that photo. If anyone has any information, see something, say something. Can we meet? Where do you live? I live in the Metro Detroit area. Unless you're going to come to Detroit, right? Right. So we wanted to talk about staying young. You know, some years ago, before many of us were even here, some of you, because you're all very young. Thank you for following me and so on. You've ever heard of a group called the Bee Gees, the Brothers Gibb? Probably not. It was an 80s thing. They made a song called Stayin Alive, right? And this morning, for some reason, as I was preparing to come on the show, I thought about staying young. And, you know, in recent times, I've been talking to a lot of people who are mid-age, both men and women. And we've come to this place where we're like, wow, the stuff that we used to see happen to our parents finally start happening to some of us. And I was like, this is me all day. This is like, no, it's not, right? No, you can't stay with me for one day. You can't stay in my house. No. Right? But do you see what I'm saying? And what has happened is that I have found that staying young is a state of mind. Have you ever looked at it from that point of view? We tend to think that everybody, Ponce de Leon, the explorer, the Spanish explorer, left Spain with a view to going to find a compound. He thought it was a magic potion that would make his queen, the then Queen of Spain and Portugal, stay young forever. People for centuries have been searching for something to make you stay youthful, to make you stay young, preserving your body as it is so it is not subject to the trials and the visuals of age. The process of aging is a process. And I think we tend to view aging as the end of life instead of viewing it as part of the cycle of life. There are no guarantees. There's no guarantee that you're going to stay looking the same for all of your life. In fact, it rarely ever works. I didn't start out life looking like this. I grew into looking like this. Do you know what I mean? And for some reason, I have been incredibly blessed to have maintained my youthfulness. And I thank God for that. It had nothing to do with most of what I did, right? If you know what I mean, it had nothing to, we can say, well, yes, I had some agency in it. Yes, I tried to eat right. I took vitamins from I was very young. I drank water most of my life. I ate well most of my life in terms of eating the right stuff, right? You know, more veggies, more fruits and that sort of thing, more fiber than eating a lot of meat and so on. Yes, that's true. I did yoga. I've done yoga for most of my adult life. And I have done, and I've ran, I was a runner, you know, I've run, never did marathons. I don't have that. I'm not getting all that sweaty stuff going on. Right. But so that could be a contributing factor. But I think I have been blessed with incredible looking genes that have maintained my health and my youthfulness and my vivacity, my vivaciousness for so much of my life. But I have come to the conclusion, I have met folks younger than I am who wonder and question their own selves. They're like, I'm younger than you. How is it that you look younger than I do and I am younger than you? You know, on the calendar, they are younger. But I have come to the conclusion that looking young is a state of mind. Looking young is a state of mind, and your state of mind is a state of being. So when you look at it, you have to ask yourself, wow, what is it that I want to eschew from out of me? The Bible says that as a man thinketh, so is he. Don't you find that's true? Isn't that true? That's very true, isn't it? As you think, you become what you think. This is why we say be careful what you think, because thoughts are things. As a man thinks about himself, that's what he becomes. So if you think you're a loser, then you're going to become a loser. Conversely speaking, if you think you're a winner, you will become a winner. As you think, so are you. Make sure that you think positively. Make sure that you think good things about yourself. Encourage yourself. Sometimes we wait. The thing with our society today is that uh, guess what we do? What? What do you think we do? What we do is we allow others to validate us. We wait for affirmation and validation from others. And when it doesn't come, then we feel badly about ourselves. That's not the real issue. The real issue is this: you have to sometimes get up and encourage yourself. Sometimes, this is why I say, while you're driving down the street, we all have heck of a commutes every day, twice a day. Just think about that. That's the perfect time for you to sit down and talk to yourself. Outline what you want to do. Think about it. Meditate on it. Stop thinking that you're old, especially for all of us. As we enter into the 30s and the 40s, we start thinking we're getting old. Well, your years are climbing, but your maturity increases. Your wisdom increases. Your capacities, your mental capacities increase, not decrease. We need to rid ourselves of those kinds of things that says as you get older, you're more subject to dementia and so on. They're setting you up because they want to sell drugs, right? So when you get to 65, oh, well, I'm closer to 65. That means I'm going to have this. No, 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 no. As a man thinketh, so is he. I think I'm youthful. I continue to think good things about myself. I love my skin. I take care of my body, but I also protect my mind, my thoughts. I'm not going to be around you if you're negative and toxic. If you are, eliminate those kinds of people from your environment and your existence, because they're a great contributor to how you think. So let's say you live in a subdivision, right? And everyone on your block is married. All of a sudden, like a domino effect, marriages start falling apart, spouses start moving out. And you and your spouse are standing there looking at each other like, are we next? Don't think, are we next? You said that kind of stuff is not going to come to us. We're not going to separate. We're going to stand together and stay together. Do you see what I mean? You look on your block and you see people, as they age, they start looking older. They start gathering weight in the middle. They stop working out. You used to see them walking. They stop walking together. As a man thinketh, so is he. You start sitting there, well, the kids are gone off to college now, so it's just me and Jack. And we're just here. You and Jack ought to run around the house. And now that you have the houses to yourselves, you need to experience what it's like to be with one another intimately in every room of that house. You need to, in other words, have sex in every room. It's going to increase your capacity. Okay, put up more mirrors in your house if you have to. Look at yourself when you walk past the mirror and encourage yourself. Wow, I'm looking slimmer than I did 3 weeks ago. Is that me who just walked past? Change your hairstyle. Change your hair color. Well, all the women in my social group, this is how they dress, and you all look dowdy. Is that how you want to look? As a man thinketh, so is he. If everybody in your group is downing on one another and, well, we're just waiting for the grandkids to come, and you're all of 48 years old, what is with that? Get up and get out of that negative mindset. And even if you're 58 or 68, get out of that negative mindset. As a man thinketh, so is he. Do you realize we're living longer? We're living way longer than any time in human history. But we're dying quicker. Why? Because we're not enjoying quality of life. So we're dying at 88, but we have had dementia for 30 years, 25 years. Wrong. You've had high blood pressure and diabetes since you were in your 50s. Wrong. As a man thinketh, so is he. So then if you want to live longer and look younger and stay younger. You've got to think younger. You definitely are going to have to change the way that you think. As a man thinketh, so is he. As a man believes he is, you will attract what you think. Right? So you start attracting what you are thinking. You start looking young, you start thinking young, you start emitting the kind of persona, right? That is going to make younger people gravitate to you. So now they see you as someone who has some experience to offer. And it's a 50-50, it's a sharing, because now you are learning some things from them. You're learning about technology, you're learning about new ways of looking at old ideas, you're learning new methods of doing things and new ways. Oftentimes you look at a company and you look at the people at the top are all white haired, and there's nobody there who looks like you. And you try to tell them to do things a new way, and they're so stuck that their way is the right way, until eventually people walk up, people down millennials all day saying they're this, they're that. But do you really sit back and listen to their ideas? You realize that there is some credibility to what they're saying, instead of just randomly as a group dismiss them and say they don't have anything to contribute. You're getting older. And the way that the pace at which you are going, chances are you're going to stroke out by the time you reach 65, 67, 68. Then who is going to take over the firm if you're still stuck there? You're not listening to new ideas. You temper the idea. You listen to it and you temper it. That's what your wisdom and your experience comes in. Your maturity speaks at that point. But you don't dismiss it because you look foolish. Because change is going to come. And when the change comes, you won't be able to handle it. You won't be able to stand with it because you weren't prepared for it. All of us, we are human beings. Our bodies are organic. We are created to live for a specific time. What some of us do is hasten the process by the way we live. You can't live in the fast lane and not expect to die in the fast lane. The fast lane is the fast lane to death and destruction, because the fast lane has drugs, it has alcohol, it has lascivious living. Lascivious living as defined by sex with multiple people, right? Fast lifestyles, no stability. You can't expect to drink all night and have a drink every night and then expect to get up to go to work every day after that, every morning, and be the sharpest tack in the room. It's going to wear on your liver. You know what your liver is? Your liver processes the fluids in your body. Think about that. You can't expect to be in a smoke-filled environment and, oh, it's okay for me to smoke and nobody can tell me what to do, and go smoke and not expect that one day you won't end up with black lung. You're decreasing your lungs capacity. You can't expect to have sex with multiple partners and expect that every day of your life you're going to wake up and have a sound, solid erection. You are destroying the joy of your life. It is what it is. You can't expect as a woman to have sex with every man you meet and not think there won't be a day of reckoning. Ovarian cancer is real. Let me help you to understand that. This is the cervix. Every time a penis goes into the vagina, it hits against the cervix. Every man has a different secretion. It builds up and builds up and builds up. Every different man, 7 different men, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You see what's happening? It's wearing down. You can't expect there won't be a day of reckoning. You can't expect to eat Big Macs every day and there won't be a day of reckoning. You can't expect to wake up every morning and slather butter on your toast, put butter in your oatmeal, and not expect that there won't be a day of reckoning. You can't expect every day to sit down and not move and not expect there to be a day of reckoning for your heart and for your lung, right? By the same token, you cannot expect to sit there every day and think negatively, think toxically, have all sorts of negative emotions and negative thoughts swirling around you for it not to affect you. Depression is real. Sometimes we fall into depression as a result of life issues, especially as you get close to midlife. So even people in their 30s are dealing with it. You fall into depression, you had a bad breakup, and you can't shake the feeling that comes out of it. You feel displaced, you feel lost, you feel hopeless. That's a common thing, right? After a job loss, you are unable to find a better job or find a good job that can pay you, and you have issues and you feel hopeless. These are the real issues. So, since we know by experience that these things do happen and that they do come, what we need to do is to have a reservoir that we can tap into, a set of good feelings that we can tap into. One of my favorite sayings comes out of the Bible. It's in Romans 8. Romans 8 and 28. And it says, all things work together for the good of them who love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose. But you see that first sentence, all things work together for the good of them. I have had to use that for so many years as I walked through the various twists and turns of life. There were some roads that honestly, I did not think my life would take. I used to stand there and say, seriously? Like, seriously, I have to go through this? Like, seriously, I never knew that some of the things I've been through that I would go through. Luckily for me, I had a reservoir of good feelings that I could tap into that took me through some of the worst situations and moments in my life. And my friends, that's what you have to do. You have to develop a certain set of ideas and thoughts that enable you and empower you. You have to have that as a reserve, because here's the thing. You can go to work and then they tell you they don't need you after you've given the company 15 years, 20 years, 10 years of your best years. And now suddenly you find yourself without any kind of attachment. Your job, your occupation was what defined you. You have to be real careful of that. What do? Right? You go home and suddenly your spouse tells you they don't want you anymore. They don't want to be with you. They don't identify with you. What do? Do you sit back and roll over and pull the covers over? That only works for 24 hours. Then you got to get up and live. You go to the doctor and they give you a bad report. What do? Do you sit there and say, oh my God, my life is over? Do like Olivia Newton-John. Olivia Newton-John has been diagnosed with breast cancer 3 times. This is her 3rd go round. She's 70 years old. Do you know what she said? She said she does not want the doctors to tell her how long she has left. She doesn't want to hear that. What she does is she lives every day to the fullest. Is that not a mantra for living? I think so. I think we all need to do that, irrespective of what comes. Like I told you, Amaria Hall, the young lady who is missing, Amaria's mother is 53, 56. And according to her, the doctors told her she has stage 4 non-smokers lung cancer. So when I talked to her on the phone, I expected someone to meet someone who is very ill. In fact, I met someone who is youthful and looks great. I couldn't believe she was taking chemotherapy. I've never seen anyone who is on chemotherapy looking like that. Allah say, cover your head. I think you want to say cover your head. Is that what you want to say? That's what God says, to cover my head? Well, I'm not Muslim, and as much as I respect Muslims, I don't always walk around with my head covered. So if that offends you, I'm sorry about that. But I get what you're saying. Allah says, cover your head. Cover your thoughts. Is that where you're going with that? Watch where your thoughts go, right? But do you see what I'm saying? It's the way that we think that matters. There are all kinds of stuff going on in our world today. Racism, it's at its peak. It's come out before us. We have to do something about it. Colorisms, all kinds of isms, classism, this, that, ism here, that, But the way that you think as an individual will guide you through the processes of life. It comes down to you. So everybody's not going to like you. Everybody's not going to be on your team. Everybody's not going to come swinging to defend you. But what about you and how you think about yourself? What do? I remember when my marriage was ending. Now, For anybody who has ever been in a situation like that, I don't need to describe in detail what that feels like. Suddenly, a way of life that I had become accustomed to for 13 years was over. Right? In fact, in spite of the fact that my ex-husband was violent and abusive, physically and emotionally, what about the people whom I had known and gotten accustomed to in the 13 years? What about the lifestyle? Suddenly I realized that that was over. That was life-changing moment. That was one of those, what I call a watershed moment, where suddenly you become aware that, oh my God, this way of life is over. I could have stayed there and lamented on it. I could have stayed there and beat myself up, but that was not going to help. That was never going to be what I needed to do in order to survive. I had 2 children whom I had to raise on my own. I'm a woman of color. I'm female and I'm an immigrant. So there were very few opportunities that were open for me in order to prosper. I literally had to create opportunities so that I could live and survive, right? Now, conversely speaking, what if my attitude had been, well, it's over. They rejected you, because divorce is a form of rejection, whether I initiated it or not. It means the other person did not pay enough attention to what you needed. So they either don't want to, or they don't think it's their thing to do. They think they should do that with other people, whatever the issues are, right? So it's rejection. It still comes down to rejection. But what if I had stayed there and lived in that frame of mind and determined that that was enough? Would I have made it? Do you see what I'm saying? And so we all have a role to play in our own issues. I despair at the people who like to tell people that if you turn around 2 times, or they make it sound as if you don't have a role to play in how you survive and how you feel about yourself. That, my friends, is not true. You have a role to play. You have to talk yourself off the ledge. You have to demonstrate to yourself that your life is worth living. You have to get up every day and come at it, even when it looks like it's never going to happen. Let me tell you a story. Some years ago, I was preaching at a church, and I was talking about finding your purpose. Now, honestly, why did I choose that topic? It's one of my foundation topics that I speak on. Well, why did I choose that topic when the real issue is that some of the folks in that church were people who were in past 65? I'll never understand, right? But I spoke on it. And I noticed there was a man whom I had seen before who was sitting on the front seat he walked with a cane. And I know while I was speaking, tears were running down his eyes. And I was curious to hear the story, or what part of the message touched him so much that he wanted to hear what I had to say. So I waited as the people came up and spoke to me and so on. And he said, I have to tell you my story. He said that he had developed something and he was supposed to take it to the patent office. And he never did, because his invention, he never got recognized. He never made any money off it. And he became defeated. And he said for 40 years he had been working on it. For 40 years he should have done something about it. But the people around him discouraged him and told him it could never be done. It can't be done. And he listened to them and listened to them. And he said at this age, he had gotten a diagnosis, and he said, I finally found my reason for living. He said, all along, this was my reason for living, and I didn't realize it. And he said, before I die, I am going to make sure I pay for the patent and have it registered with the patent office. Now, the truth of the matter is, even if he died, it doesn't matter, because his children will have that legacy. His name will always be attached to that invention. So the point I'm making is, it doesn't matter how old you are. You are never too old to do what you've been called to do. You can find your purpose at any age. In fact, for a lot of people, they didn't become famous until they got older. Sometimes that's just the luck of the draw. That's just how it works. But so what? Are you going to give up? So you are 35 and nothing has happened for you yet. You're 28 and nothing has happened. Are you going to throw in the towel? I'm amazed at how so many young people today want to kill yourselves off for nothing. Can I just be honest with you? Driving drunk is a suicide mission. Please don't do that. Drinking and smoking is a suicide mission. Don't do that. You have your whole lives to live for. And you want to live healthily. You want to wake up and you're 55 and you have no health concerns and you are not taking one pill for nothing. That's your goal. You want to wake up and you're 65 and Lord, thank you, I don't have to take a pill to go to the bathroom or to make me want to go to the bathroom. Do you see what I'm saying? It's the way that we think. We have to change how we think. So if you want to have meaningful change, you have to do something meaningful. You have to think meaningfully. Every day of your life has to be filled with purpose. I love calendars. Write out what you have to do. Yeah, we have calendars on our phone. And especially for millennials, you guys use your phones all day to record what you want to do. As for me and my house, I love to write stuff down, right? Make sure that you have calendars. Write down what you are doing. Write down what is going to happen. Make a list of the things that you have to do. Yes, it's the month of August. The year is not over yet. It can happen at any time, right? Expect something good to happen to you every day. Speak it. Every morning that you wake up, open your eyes and flutter your eyes. My goodness, was that your eyelashes moving? Could you move your eyes independently? Could you move your head? Good Lord, I get up in the mornings like this. And I am so grateful I can lift my arms above my head. I can bring them down. I can twist them around. I can twist them behind me. I can stretch myself, stretch my muscles. Come on, people. Even for some of you young people, you haven't moved since you left high school. Some of you haven't gone to a gym. You go to the gym and use the gym as a pickup point. But you actually don't get on the machines or do any of the workouts, do you? But you have a gym membership, though. And you can show it. And you can prove it, but you don't actually do the workouts. I know. Yeah, you use the gym as a pickup point. Do you see what I'm saying? It's time for us to change the way that we think. What if you're going to live till you're 85? My personal goal is to live for the next 40 to 50 years and live well. That means my faculties are intact. I still want to be able to wear high heels. I love wearing 6-inch heels. I still want to be able to wear heels when I want to. So that means I have to do my squats and, do my quads for my glutes and stuff to work my muscles. No, if you were to see me in person, I actually don't look like, I work out. I look very normal. But believe me, yes, I am. The proof of the pudding is in the moving. I can outrun you. And I can sit down and twist my body in ways that you can't begin to, even though I don't look it. They say I don't look like I'm flexible. That's the biggest joke. As a man thinketh, so is he. All right. Right? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Right? And so I want to be able to tell you that, because people sometimes don't understand how much. I appreciate it. Thank you. I will. Right? People don't understand how much that this is of concern to us, because we don't want to. We don't want to dip into the fountain of youth that is so elusive is inside of us. The fountain of youth is resident inside of you. It is in your mind. It holds the key to unlocking all the mysteries that you are trying to figure out. You want to know how to live long? It's in your mind. You feed your mind. Do you read? People, do we read anymore? When was the last time we read something? Even if you have to read it on a tablet, I don't care. Tablets are good and phones, because for people like me, I can enlarge the font. I can change the background color. I like a black background with white writing. I can see that. You know what I mean? So reading on a screen is great. Download a book. I have books that you can download. Read my books. Go pick up something and read something. That will start the process. So feed your mind. And what are you reading? Have you read the ancients? Have you read ancient history? Have you read stories of people who have lived before? No. What do? We sit back and we watch a screen all day, every day. Well, what are you watching? If you're going to watch a screen, what are you watching? Go to my YouTube channel. You can get it on your smart TV. Watch the stuff that I talk about. It will make you laugh, by the way. Yeah, when you look at me, you'll be like, this is some crazy lady right here. Right? Right? And tap into that. Take care of yourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, guys, you guys, do you moisturize your skin? And you men are all looking at me like, whoa, guys, I'm talking to you. Do you moisturize your skin? Okay, let's start something simpler. When was the last time you as a man had a drink of water? Hey, hey. No, you all not going to answer me. What's good? I'm talking about the fountain of youth here, right? And nobody's, oh, you had a drink of water yesterday. Shout out to you. You, when was the last time you had a drink of water? And the rest of you all. When was the last time you had a drink of water? Can't think about it. Start by drinking water. Do you know that when you drink water, you get less sick? Did you know that? You feel less dizzy. You don't get as many headaches. Did you know that? Your body is trying to tell you you need water. Sometimes you get headaches. You feel without energy. Drink some water. Sometimes you feel like you're hungry. You're really not hungry. Drink some water. I used to say that water and carrots build character, because there was a time when you know how we women are. We said, okay, I need to get back to the size. So I would eat carrots and drink water. So it's the water and carrots add character. So drink water. Eat more fruits and veggies. No, I like potato chips. I do like them. I don't like Lay's. It's too salty and it has a funny taste to me. So no, I don't do that one. But there's a local brand that I've used, Better Made. But I can't eat it anymore because my diet has overcome my taste buds. My diet is primarily vegetarian. I eat more vegetables. I'm not vegetarian. I'm not vegan. I'm more vegetarian because I do drink the animal. I do drink milk, right? So if you have some kind of animal protein, you can't claim to be, right? But I do. Do you eat Cape Cod chips? No, I've never had that. I eat Better Made chips. I'll look up for that. I don't know if it's on this side of country that we're in the Midwest. So I'll look for it. Cape Cod chips, right? So I like my chips without the MSG stuff. And the unmentionables ingredients that you can't read, that like there are like 50 of them in the one chip, and you can't read it and you can't decipher it. Don't eat that stuff. That stuff gives me a headache. So now I have to eat more. My body craves more of the broccoli, carrots, lettuce, tomatoes, peas, beans stuff. So sucks to be me, right? So I find that that's what I mostly eat, right? I pay for it because then I have more water weight, because vegetables are largely water in weight. That's healthy, because what that means is that you go to the bathroom 3 or 4 times a day. Is that good? Yes. It means you eliminate a lot of the toxins that we inhale and that we bring in through the foods and so on, right? So change the way that you think. We also need to change the way that we think about ourselves, because we attach these things to ourselves because of society and societal conditioning, that when you get to 65, you're over, you can't do anything else. Men have disproved that theory. Men are like, are you kidding me? I can find a 25-year-old. What the hell are you talking about? I'm going to prove to you that I can do what I want to do at any age. Well, women can do the same thing too. The good news is that after a certain age, you just won't get pregnant. You don't have to worry about getting pregnant. So in other words, what I'm saying is, women, change the way you think about you going through menopause. Did you see on the news recently, they said there's surgery that you can do to delay menopause? And I'm like, girl, please just start thinking different. If you're going to have to do surgery to enhance your eggs and to improve your egg production, you might as well change your diet, right? But if there's a surgery and you feel like delaying menopause is going to make you, enjoy your life more, by all means do it. Exercising, right? Working out, going for a walk. Doesn't matter what you look like, go for a walk. So you like to eat them pork nuts and eat your pork chops and stuff like that? Go for a walk, put it down. Tell yourself I'll eat that once a month. And you give yourself one day when you say, I can only eat that I only eat it once a month. But you, the rest of the time, you choose something to good and feed your spirit. That's the last thing that I want to tell you about. Feeding your spirit. When was the last time you thought about faith? When was the last time you asked yourself, is there God? When was the last time you asked yourself, what do I believe? Because you can quote what everyone else believes, but what do you believe? What has your life experiences demonstrated to you? And yes, I'm going to hear you say, well, my life experiences tell me that there is no God because all the bad things, blah, 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 blah. But if you're still breathing today, that tells you that there is some hope. So feed your spirit. Go read. Go discover new worlds. I used to say that sometimes with all the stuff that I was going through, one of the things that brought me through it was not just my faith and belief, but I read other people's stories. Sometimes focusing on someone else's story helps you to cope with your own situation. So go volunteer somewhere. Go give back to someone. It will make you feel incredibly good. Plus, you meet a whole new group of people. So you end up having different groups of people that you can choose to be with. And eventually you'll stop hanging out with the negative types, the toxic types, who are just really like leeches, attaching themselves to you to suck the life out of you. Be a force for life. Be a force for good, even if it's just for yourself. So here's what I want you to do. While you are driving down the street, I want you to record yourself talking to yourself and play it back. You do know that your phone has an app that can connect to your car, that your phone connects to your car, your vehicle. So while you are driving, go to my YouTube page and download some of the stuff that I've talked about. In a few months, I'm going to upload some motivational speaks to my website, and I will invite you to go to those. You download them for a fee, right? And you listen to them while you drive, and you encourage yourself and motivate yourself, right? Change the way that you think. Youth, it's in us, it's in all of us. Think that you're young. I don't care what you look like. I keep telling you, put some paint on it. Paint. Men too. Go get some just for men. Color your beard. Trim your beard. Do your hair. Cut your hair. And go to the gym and start working out and start building those biceps. All of a sudden, women just start looking at you because you start walking with more confidence. And you're just like, whoa, I'm just getting all this attention. And your wife is like, I noticed. It's because you feel more confident, because you feel good about yourself. So you start showing it. And the minute you start feeling good about yourself, you start attracting people. You see where I'm coming from? And people gravitate to something. It never amazes me how I walk into a place and it was empty. And I'm like, good, I'll be able to get service and get out of there. And in like less than 5 minutes flat, the place is filled with people. And I'm like, oh, happens every time. It's like I'm a magnet for people. So sometimes I go to places and they're like, don't leave. As long as you're here, people just keep coming in. And I'm like, no, right? Be that magnet that draws good things and good experiences to you. I know that in all the negativity, it's hard to work through it and it's a process. But tell yourself that I'm going to get through this stuff. And then when I get through, I'll get over to the other side. You're talking to somebody who has survived. For 2 years, I walked through literal darkness. My mother had died and everything. The people whom I held dear walked away from me. And I had to deal with that and everything else. And I walked through darkness. I felt like, I literally had to, I talked myself, it happened to me. And I had to talk myself off the ledge. I had to remind myself why I'm here, remind myself of my purpose. And in the midst of it, I had 2 books to write. I was like, are you kidding me? I was writing grants and doing everything else. What it did was it kept me. And I had to remind myself, right? Do the same thing for you, right? So in a few months, by September, we're going to upload some motivational quotes to my website, harrietkamak.com. Morning, right? Over here, right? And Raven, hey, Hey, my sweetheart, Raven Bishop, is over here on YouTube. Y'all need to go over there and see it. She give her a shout out, right? And so I'm going to upload that to my website. And of course, there's going to be a fee for that. All right, baby. See you later. I'll follow back. Okay. All right. So that's what we have to say for today. Right? Right? And I'll see you all later. Right? Have a good time, baby. Right? Uh-huh. So we talk about these things, and we will talk about that. So make sure you join us tomorrow as we continue to talk about this and the issues that matter. I love the fact that you guys are on this journey with me. And I'm so grateful that you took time out on this Wednesday. So go out today and wow yourself. Drink something good. Go to somewhere like a tropical smooth cafe or something. Drink something good for yourself. Start by drinking a glass of water, right? Eat something good, some cheese and some veggies and some fruits. Start there. Yeah, will make you feel better. You'll feel like you're doing something for yourself. And then go do some stretches. When was the last time you all stretched? Show me how you can stretch. Show me. Bring your arms up. Lift them up, 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 up. Right? Run. Go lift some weights. I keep 10-pound weights. Yeah, I do lift 10-pound weights. So I can actually lift a bag of 25 pounds easily. Like just lift it up, pull it up and lift it up. They're always amazed at me. Like, oh my God, my family is like, oh my God, she can lift stuff, because I look like, I look like I'm not flexible. I look like I'm not doing it. And then before you know it, I'm like, oh, you need your car moved? Come on. Use my foot and start pushing it. And they're like, oh my God. One time my sister was moving and they needed a refrigerator. They were going through the wrong door. And it's one of those houses where the stairs was right as you walked in. And that's where the refrigerator was. So this was me. They were struggling to get it out. I went on the stairs and put my foot, push. And they were like, sis, I didn't know you were that strong. You don't look it. Right? And I'm like, be careful. I take my Wheaties, I take my vitamins, and I eat my protein, right? So go to my website, theharrietkevitt.com, as well as go to the exodusfoundation.com. Make a donation to us as we bring relief to victims of human sex trafficking. Thank you so much, everybody. Be blessed. Have a great day. Have a good one. It's Wednesday. Go out and wow someone, right? Be blessed, everybody.